Thank you for being a part of ASO Morning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, good. We wanted to establish that you can hear us. So let's start with your party, YPP. You're a young candidate, 38 years old. This is your first major political elections you're getting involved with in the state. Of course, you know that you have some political pedigree, but other than that, how prepared is Rivers State for your party, YPP?
Actually, people getting involved and putting a right plan in place. So when you say how prepared, basically we have involved all hands to be on deck, all in the best of hands, intelligent people in all the 23 local government. Before then, we've had good partnerships with a lot of associations and groups all over the 23 local governments. We have also, we have our ground force. So we are quite, solid and known in the 23 local governments, in as much as we're just about 6 years old as a party. Yes. And then me being this is my first time in running for public office. But in terms of experience, we have all the experience because government processes or running a government is about policies, is about administration, basically. So in terms of, being on ground, I don't think even whatever party has the capacity we have now, we might not be showing it as loud as they are doing it, but we know what we have on ground.
Okay, my question will now go to that bandwagon effect where we saw it across the presidential polls. People were voting a certain way, and not because they had interrogated the candidates of those that are vying for those positions, but because they wanted to vote a certain party. Do you think it will affect the YPP at the coming polls? And before we go into your manifesto, my question will be, do you think that those who need to understand the good ideas you have, all have interrogated it and do understand it?
Okay, if they've understood our good ideas and are ready to, is that what your question is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, we have been able to sell out. Yeah, the party is a new party, as I said, and me also, I'm a new product. Though it has not been easy to sell out, it's always a process to sell a new product. But we have been able to let them know. We have been able to speak to the conscience of this, because a whole lot of persons want this new change. They want this new era. Nobody wants to be in the position where he or she has found himself in the past few years. And the reality to it is, if something is bad, it's bad. Something has gone wrong, it has gone wrong. I always said it in my past interviews. I would have not come to run for the seat of the governor of Rivers State if what ought to have been done was done. But basically, the candidates who are actually running alongside myself has been in power since 1999. Most of them, if they've not been under Peter Odili, they've been under Rotimi Amechi. They've not been under Rotimi Amechi. They've been under ASO Wike, or they've been collecting contracts from the government. So they've benefited. They've achieved whatever. But you see, my pain is in knowing that these things have been done, knowing what they have done or what they have achieved, the positions they have attained over these years. You cannot find any form of effect, even in their LGAs. So it's painful and sad. This gave us a platform to speak and said something has to be done. And we have used that as a yardstick, selling to all the LGAs, enlightening them, making them know. 6.5 dozen is the same thing. The fact that this person is here and is here at this point, it doesn't mean they're different. At this point now, a whole lot of the contestants are going around spreading out a whole lot of money. Yes, buying things, doing things, favoring people, doing what they ordinarily would not do in 2018, or they would have not been able to do in 2017. Because I've been in this state too, I've been watching them. None of them has done half of what they are doing at this point. So you see, it's just after about appealing or appeasing Rivers people, a temporary appeasement, something that will just make them feel okay. And if they get it, it's all done. I'm the youngest candidate. I feel the pain. I know what it is to be on the streets. I know what it is being a youth. I know the processes and how the job employment, how the insecurity issues, how the entrepreneurial issues are all broken down. It has affected me myself. I'm not coming because I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been a victim of these things. The health issues, I've been a victim of it. In my own case, there's a time I have actually saved up money to go for medical tests. And after going for medical, I didn't have the money to actually buy the drugs. So you see, because of I live in a society where the government hospitals are now looking dead. They're now looking like a morgue rather than even a teaching hospital. So everybody tends to go to the a private hospital where you have enormous amount of bills to pay, and sometimes you cannot, and they leave you fallow. They don't. Most of them, what we have seen lately, they are concerned about what they are making and not what the health of the people. So we have been able to sell these things out in the 23 local government, making people, because people will not come around us, people will not support us. We have had endorsement from several groups, several associations, several people who have seen and
Okay.
we have gone to places, yes, to one or two places, another, and we saw the effect of it.
Okay, Honorable, I'd like you to address this. Of course, your party slogan is service to the people, and then you have the advantage of youth. Rivers State is faced with a high percentage in unemployment. I think the statistics is almost, if you put it in figures, almost close to 6 million people who are out of jobs in Rivers State. It's interesting when you said you've known the problems, people are aware of the problems, and I think most Nigerians are aware of the problems. So the direct question to you will be, if you do become the governor on Saturday under your party, YPP, what exactly would you do towards creating job opportunities for the teeming youth in Rivers State?
Okay, basically, it's a priority for us. It's a major priority. As a civil engineer, I will talk from the aspect of the basis of a professional. I've been practicing for quite some time, so I know what it is. Engineering is about precision. It's about getting things done, putting things together, and achieving them. Now, looking at the unemployment situation in Rivers State, is sad. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, in percentage, 43.7% of Rivers people are unemployed, and we are below poverty line, about 23.9%, which is affecting the state and affecting the economy. Now, what we will do is to first of all look at the level of people that are unemployed. Now, there's an issue already. We have already seen people unemployed. We need to now make them employable. Because even those that are employed, the unemployment issue, we have a lot of Rivers people who are unemployable. So that's where it brings in the beginning of my manifesto, education. So we have to train people, educate them, formally and informally, prepare them. When I was in Julius Berger, most of the expatriates that come in, they have just diplomas, some of them just certifications, and all that. But you see, they come here, they are big people. They raise them very high. So we will make sure that Rivers people are very much employable. We'll pump a lot of funds in that to see that the human capacity development is achieved, and we are ready for the job. Then we begin to see how we can introduce PPP, public-private partnerships, with organizations who we have already started speaking with, based on the resources that are embedded in that. There used to be West African bottle industry in Rivers State, but it's dead. This bottle industry used to produce, Coca-Cola bottles, 7-Up bottles for the companies, and they buy and they use it for their product and all that. It's also used.
Okay, we'll see if we can establish that very soon. Is it back on?
Engineer Danagogo, can you hear
ceramic plates?
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please go ahead.
Okay.
And before you do go ahead, can you tilt your camera a bit so that we can see you clearly? It seems like what we call in production headroom is a little too much, and so we can barely see your face.
Yes, done that.
Are you still there?
Yes, he has done that now.
Oh, that's
We've
nice.
just been informed that he's done that, yes.
Right. Please go ahead. You were talking about the state of the your River State right now?
For empowering the youths. Go ahead.
Okay, basically, as I said, employment is one
Yes,
of the
better
major
now.
issues our priority. Yeah, so we will make sure that number one, Rivers people are very much employable, because that's
Right.
actually, yes, you cannot create industries when the people are not ready. You know, they once upon a time in River State, a certain community in River State, was appealing to the industry, the oil and gas industry in that area, to create jobs for them and give them opportunity to work. And the company decided to do that and said, okay, produce 200 people from the community. We need 30 something mechanical engineers. We need 40 something petroleum and electrical engineers. So they spelled out everybody that they need. It's about 200 and something. And when they gave the community to produce that, the community had nobody. So they ended up employing them as artisans, like gatekeepers, cleaners,
Yes.
and all manner of menial jobs. So it means Rivers people are largely unemployed. So that's where it brings in our first point of agenda, education, because we're going to make sure people are educated informally and formally. They'll be trained. We have Igbo brothers in River State here. You see, if you go to some parts of River State, like the Ikoku, there's a process that they use to grow their markets. Somebody will work as an apprentice under his master, and after 6 years, his master pays him, and he opens up his own. He's established. Then it continues. Like they've been doing this for years. You see, we have to learn from what is working. The government can also buy into such behavior, such ways, and implement this in a better scale to make sure that Rivers people are one, employable, are one, good in entrepreneurship. Before we now start establishing, industries. Establishing industries is key. I've gone around the 23 local governments even before I decided to run for the seat of the governor of Rivers State. What did I do? I was the national president of an NGO called CRY, Community of Reform Youth Initiative. The NGO stood for job creation. We were concerned about the level of unemployment. Okay, and then we decided to, what do we do about it? In the process of doing that, we went around to find out. Okay, one of the things to find out is, are there places where these people can work? Because we can't have everybody in the ministry. We can't have everybody in the banking sector. So what are we going to do? We realized that the industrialization level of River State is very low, very, very low. And then we have every LGA who has a very sound natural resources in their LGA. And we began to put these things together. We wrote over 44 letters advising the present administration, then telling them that, oh, we found this thing can help us. If the government focus on this place to see how we can improve this industry here, it can employ close to 600-700 persons. This is internal employment outside the external businesses that will be done around that community, but deaf ears was thrown up over the time. Now, for example, River State used to have what we call West African bottle industry. This industry back then produced were the ones producing most of the Coca-Cola bottles, 7-Up bottles that this company would take and then used to refill their content. So they had Nigerians produce them. I think there used to be some in Transamadi in Port Harcourt here, but those companies are dead. It's also a company that produced what we call ceramic tiles, ceramic cups and all that, because the raw material is in River State. It's called glass sand. This glass sand, we have a large deposit of it in River State, a very large deposit, and what is it used for? Bottles, ceramic cups, ceramic tiles that you use to build your houses, vessels, all those ornaments that are being sold and used to beautify houses or used in churches, is a $22.9 billion industry. But with the level of deposit we have here, we do nothing about it. It's just left there fallow. We wrote to the present administration and advising them. We were not after you giving us contract. We didn't want them. We wanted to bring them because we saw that they were just after road projects, bridge, and all that. And then the people that you're employing are not in any position other than being an iron bender or a carpenter, very minimal and low, that cannot take them much anywhere, no proper training, So we advised and said, this can be done. It will help. How did we know? In the course of going around, we went to, for example, a community, Eleme. We have very minimal Eleme indigenes found within the Port Harcourt metropolis. Very minimal of them. Why? Because in that aspect, in that area of River State, we have Onel, we have Indorama, we have petrochemical, we have Notoria. So the youths are gainfully employed or engaged in some form of productivity. If they are not where they are loading trucks and making money out of it, they are working with Indorama, or they are working with the petrochemical, or some in one way or the other, they are being productive, or even collecting royalties because it's their community. They are being productive. So you see them less within the Port Harcourt metropolis. But every other tribe in River State is neither here nor there. Another exceptional places in Bonny, we have NLNG, we have Mobi, we have Chevron, we have Saipan. I always tell people that live in Port Harcourt, look around your houses, check around your houses, your neighbors.
Honorable Dagogo, I'd like to ask you this, because apparently we have 3 other candidates who are also from the same place with you. I know the Accord Party candidate comes from the same region with you, and also the APC candidate comes from the same region with you. Do you think this will affect your chances in any way, especially when they have sons of the same region that they have to share their votes for?
It's a fact over the years, but that the very obvious notion about the Calabari emergence of several candidates usually affects, or divides the vote. It's a fact. It cannot be ruled away because, but it's also a point of, it means Calabaris have very intelligent and smart people and very pronounced people, and it also shows that they are agitating. The agitation is time for the Calabari man to become the governor of River State. So if this person is not pressing, this other person is pressing. But it's a fact, as I said, that yes, there's a division. But you see, the INEC rules states that you need 25% of 2/3 of the entire River State.
Exactly.
So I don't think it now affects anybody's emergence, because you need 25% of everywhere. Gone are the days where you just win in 2-3 LGAs and then you've won your election. No, you need to have at least 25% each. So I don't think at that point it affects. We are in the coastal region. There are other riverine areas within us, and then everybody's going to pull his strengths, But I would have also advised them. I'm the youngest. I'm their younger brother. They know me very well. Yeah, they know me very well. And, for them to have somebody that is smart and intelligent as this, it is time, because they've been in the system since 1999. They've been running, they've been, and most of them have large amount of funds, large amount of godfatherism around them. I don't. I don't. But by virtue, by God's grace, I'm also in the front line, and I'm making my wave. And I'm telling them, I'm using this medium, I've told them severally to appeal to them, to give the youths the opportunity. When we're growing up, there's this song, children are the future of tomorrow. I mean, leaders are the future of tomorrow. The people that taught us the song, they're still in power. We that were children has grown up. The tomorrow has not come. So we need to step in.
Okay, I have 2 questions here. The first one would be, earlier today when we're reading the papers, River State was mentioned as one of the volatile states ahead of the Guba polls, that's security-wise. That's my first question. How do you feel about that? What would you do to help security agencies, if possible, to mitigate this security this potentially security volatile place, as it is mentioned in the papers this morning. And elections are, it often sways anyway. So hypothetically speaking, if you do not emerge as governor, you obviously have an in-depth knowledge of the state and what the state needs and what the people of Rivers State need. Would you agree to work with whoever emerges as governor? Should you not be favored?
Okay, two corrections. One, I will emerge as governor, so there's no. I don't use myself in example
like
of what is not going to work. One, I will emerge as governor. Two, River State is not. I don't like to put River State say it's volatile. It's not. Every state is the same. Every state is going to run an election on the 18th, and there are going to be security issues. There are going to be ups and downs. It's an election. It's an election. So River State shouldn't be exceptional. You see, that's part of the things that, the media does around here that is not, when we sell out, what we actually do is that we're killing the status of the state because of the negative things that the media around here. So we'll put those in place. We'll call on the media houses and we'll correct them. We'll put them online so that they don't sell, depress the image. Now, getting back to your question and all that. Yes, since it's an election, there will be ups and downs. We have seen past examples of certain things that has happened in the past and how one or two insecurity issues cropped up. But that was as a result of we were working without the beavers. In the last election, there was no form of, you didn't hear there was any violence anywhere or anybody was shot anywhere and anything was happening. Why? Because you see, you're wasting your time, even if the election was perceived to have been rigged, still, but the notion of wasting your time to get things violent and trying to take things by force was curbed as a result of the beavers machine. I think that will still play, the 18th. Everybody knows if you destroy the beavers, it has ended. And there's no election in that place. It's cancelled, except INEC now wants to review that place. But if that doesn't happen, I think the insecurity level will be very, very minimal because we have a lot of law enforcement agencies and everybody wants to also defend their votes because it will end up being chaos. But nevertheless, we have people who won't take things for granted. We have had several candidates who have spoken very, very tough, and I don't think they also want to take things for granted because we know what the present administration is doing, the intimidation, the oppression, and I don't think even myself will take things for granted. There are some certain things that we will not want to allow. So everything has to be fair and fair. Let the people of the state choose their candidates. And I'm very confident that I'm their preferred candidate. You have to check into their hearts.
Okay. Engineer Danagogo Wenike-briggs, gubernatorial candidate of the Young Progressive Party, Rivers State, often referred to as the young governor. I must thank you so much for being part of the program and sharing your manifesto and plans should you emerge. May the best man win. I'm wishing you all the best.
So we wish you all the best.
From all of us here in ASO TV.
Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate this.
Okay, then, bye.
Do have a wonderful day.
Okay, that was an interesting conversation, and I like the fact that he's young. I'm happy that I'm seeing, a lot more young people coming out for, political positions in Nigeria. The elections of 2019 and this 2023 elections have opened up the space, and we're seeing new parties, people being vibrant, and then, younger people getting involved in it. So, like we said, good luck to all the contestants coming out tomorrow. Sorry, on the Saturday. 18th, which is in 2 days' time, to vie for positions. And on that note, would like to say thank you very much for staying with us, and also to thank our team, because without them, honestly, if you see all the efforts they put in the back trying to make this show very successful, so a lot of thanks to you guys this morning. My name is Ifunanya. Do have an awesome day.
And I am Joya saying, like she said, have a wonderful day.